Pat Doherty's Fighting Irish have played 4 straight games at home. They won 3, but today it's on the road against the Panthers here in Pittsburgh. Sunday afternoon, Big East Conference basketball. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame off to their best start in 11 years, taking on the Panthers of the University of Pittsburgh. We welcome all of you inside Fitzgerald Fieldhouse this afternoon. I'm John Sanders, along with Bob Wenzel. We will see a lot of Troy Murphy, 5-time Big East Player of the Week.
Well, he is really a great player. He scores 20, 30 a game. The guy is phenomenal. But lately, he's been getting a lot of help, John.
Well, in the first half, he carried the load in their last win against West Virginia. He got a lot of help from Graves and Carroll in the second half. The Irish would like to see more of that this afternoon.
David Graves and Matt Carroll are key players. Watch Graves win the Ohio State game. He's got blood that can really simmer. And look at his teammates. The guy can take the ball to the basket. He is a great three-point shooter. And when he's going well, the Irish have a lot more weapons. Matt Carroll can knock it in from the perimeter. That is his main job. He's a freshman, and when Troy Murphy gets a lot of attention, he's able to knock him in from the outside. Carroll and Graves making Notre Dame better.
2 weeks ago, the Irish had 4 players in double figures in beating Pittsburgh. The Panthers had 3 in double figures, and as always, one of them was Ricardo Greer.
Ricardo Greer is a phenomenal player. Leads the league in offensive rebounding at 6'5". Can you say determination? Look at these numbers. Talk about an all-around player. Ricardo Greer is that for the Panthers.
In all likelihood, this afternoon, Greer will become the first in basketball history to accomplish a very special feat. He will try to lead the way for Pittsburgh as they take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame here in Pittsburgh. Big East basketball is next.
That was interesting.
The Volkswagen Jetta. Sometimes everything just comes together.
With the AT&T one-rate 7-cent plan, calls are just 7 cents a minute all day, every day.
What about Canada?
What?
Canada.
Yeah, same thing. With the international plan, it's 7 cents a minute always.
What about all the other countries in the world? Japan, Mexico, Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
All right. Every country has its own low rate.
What about France?
France.
France.
Same low rate as France.
Great, I'm gonna go call France.
Which is right near France.
7 cents to Canada and great rates around the world. Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Rima Ambrelos.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. See, I had to get away and blow off some steam. I wanted to book a 4-star hotel, so I went to Priceline.com, name my own price. Now I'm getting red carpet treatment at shag carpet prices. Yeah, it's a better life for me and you.
Today's Big East game is brought to you by 7-Up. Make 7-Up yours. By Dodge. Do not follow. Do not conform. Be different. By AT&T one-rate 7-cent plan. One simple rate all day, every day. By Sam Adams, a better glass of beer. And by National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go.
Welcome to Pittsburgh. Bob Wenzel and John Sanders here with you, and Matt Doherty brings his Notre Dame Fighting Irish in. As you can see, Matt Carroll, Troy Murphy, Dillon, Graves, and Swanigan. And of course, Jimmy Dillon, the assist leader on this team, gets the ball to Murphy and lately to Carroll and Graves as well. And for Pittsburgh's Ben Howland's team, Jeremy Holmes and Brandon Knight, diminutive backcourt. Ricardo Greer, their leader. Seabrooks, and of course, Brandon Knight, 5.9 assists, 2.8 steals. Not much of a shooter, but can really dish it out.
Second time they have met in the last couple of weeks. Some three-point shooting did in the Panthers at the Joyce Center on the campus of Notre Dame. They made 14 three-pointers, and Pittsburgh at that time, Bob, going through a stretch where everybody was shooting threes against them. We'll see what happens this afternoon. Our referee is Tim Higgins. Jim Burr and Jim Haney are the rest of this crew, an outstanding refereeing crew. We're set for basketball. This should be a good matchup. We've got a great crowd this afternoon.
We really do.
Fieldhouse.
Electrifying atmosphere. Pittsburgh coming off a very tight loss at Miami. They played well on the road. Zavatkis gives them another scorer. Very important. He did not play the first time against the Irish.
Greer with it on the perimeter, back tonight. We are just underway, and the Irish, as they have done all season long, open up in that zone defense.
Very effective 2-3 zone. They have big people inside. When the ball gets reversed, they got to get out quickly.
Knight with a three, and he hits it. It's exactly what West Virginia did last week. They got off to that quick first half start, making a lot of threes, but Notre Dame turned it around in the second half.
Brandon Knight, not known for his three-point shooting. He also took that on Troy Murphy's side. If you shoot threes from Murphy's side, that pulls him away from the rebounding job.
Murphy has his first touch this afternoon. Graves steps around the three, working against Greer, and Pittsburgh not using his zone so far.
Well, I thought they made a mistake when they played too much zone last time. And the Irish plays better against zone than they do against man.
And it rolls off the rim into the hands of the Panthers. The reach-in foul is called on Carroll. Let's check out the Dodge keys to victory this afternoon.
Well, first for Notre Dame, Murphy's Law. Got to keep him involved in the game offensively. That's not a problem. The question is, will they have balance? Will Carroll step up? Will Graves step up? And for Pittsburgh, they got to defend the three. Got to be up on the Irish. And Seabrook's play, Chris Seabrook's the only inside force for Pitt, must not get in foul trouble.
Greer for three. That is short. Swanigan with a rebound. Back comes Dillon. Second time in 2 weeks these two teams have met.
John, the Irish have proven they play very well at home. They've lost only 2 games at home all year. One was overtime to Vanderbilt and to Miami. Now they've got to start developing something on the road.
Well, if you're going to finish in the upper part of that Big East standings board, and we'll look at that at halftime, you're going to have to win on the road. Carroll gets inside, misses the shot. Seabrooks tips it out of bounds, so Notre Dame will keep it with 18-12 to play in the half.
Despite Pittsburgh's record, Ben Howland, I think, is starting to feel a little bit better about his team. That guy, Chris Seabrooks, can do very good things. Ben Howland, first season at Pitt. You can see his record overall. Northern Arizona had great success.
And very heads up to avoid the 5 count off the body of the Panther defender, and Notre Dame will get another chance to inbound under its own basket. Howland has had to make some tough decisions, though. Zavatkis was suspended for a while, and he has removed one player from this team, a junior college transfer who had come in, and Derek Worrell. Westbrook's no longer with the team. He's only got 10 players.
Well, he does, but he's got to establish what he feels is the most important things, and sometimes that's difficult when you start a program.
And that's difficult, too, to try to contain Troy Murphy, and the result is a foul on Chris Seabrooks.
Well, we talked about Ben Howland's team trying not to stay in foul trouble. When you go man-to-man, you risk getting in foul trouble trying to guard Murphy. If you go 2-3 zone, the Irish have stellar outside shooters. Zavatkis now guarding Murphy.
Graves. Greer jumps out on him. Dillon doesn't score much. He's the assist man. Here's Swanigan, who stepped it up of late. Gets into the lane, no place to go. Goes to Graves. That's a 3, and the game is tied.
Well, we talked about Graves in the open. He can knock him in from 3-point range. Shoots very good percentage from there. 43%, one of the best in the league from 3-point range.
This is the second meeting of the year between these two teams. In other words, playing another team as Greer gets the good pass inside from Holmes and finishes his first basket. Swanigan answers at the other end.
Transition offense from the Irish. The last time these two teams played, the Irish rushed the ball down, John, reversed it, and took lots of outside shots. This time, Swanigan filling the lane.
14 three-pointers, a record number of three-pointers against Pittsburgh. Holmes misses a three. There's Greer looking for that offensive rebound, did not get it. Here is Carroll. Carroll actually grew up just north of the city of Pittsburgh in Wexford. He's got a huge following here. So did the Irish, of course. Swanigan put it on the ground underneath. Missed it, tips it back, stayed with it. That's what he did in the first half against West Virginia, kept his club in there, and he gives Notre Dame its first lead this afternoon.
Swanigan scores from 3 feet and in. He is their muscle man. He is quite necessary for this team to do well.
And there's the assist for Greer that makes him the first in Pittsburgh history with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and now 250 assists. And Carroll hits his three-pointer. Notre Dame back on top.
Notre Dame three-pointer number 13.
That's the way Carroll likes to shoot, in transition before the defense can get to him. Very nice looking stroke.
Knight for three to tie. That's too strong. Tipped out of bounds. Let's see which way it goes. Nobody knows. John Hughes makes the call and says it belongs to Pittsburgh. Taylor will check in along with Lockhart. Lockhart has been a starter much of this season for the Panthers, a good outside shooter. He was the starter during the time that Donatas Zavatkis was suspended.
Absolutely, and he is a very good three-point shooter. That is what he does. Most people in the league try to play him very tightly and force him to put the ball on the floor. As a standstill shooter, he is a very tough threat.
And we have bloody nose. I believe we do for Carroll. So Carroll will go to the sideline. We'll go to a break with 15:56 remaining in the opening half. Right now it's the Irish by 3.
Built for the way you live. After learning about the Serengeti in school, Sarah and her friend wanted to see the animals up close.
You know, my mom could take us.
So with the help of Sarah's mom and Ford Expedition, off they went. With plenty of room, a Triton V8 and control track 4-wheel drive, Expedition helped turn a day-long trip into lifelong memories. Ford Expedition, built for the way you live with no boundaries. And now Expedition comes with financing as low as 3.9%.
Why on earth would an airline remove rows of seats from all their planes? Oh, that's why. American Airlines introduces more room throughout coach. Soon, we'll have more room for more coach passengers than any other airline. Row after row after row. On American, coach has more class.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. We are witnessing history. Ricardo Greer on this assist, a lob play cross court, puts him in the history books. First player, Pitt history, 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 250 assists.
And he's only a junior.
An absolutely great career for a solid player. A do-it-all kind of guy, handles, passes, scores, and of course, trying to get his team in the win column in the Big East. They've only got one win so far.
And some changes for Notre Dame as well. Mike Monserrat is on for the first time this afternoon. He wears number 22 out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati. This is Dillon. Look to Murphy.
Watch out.
Shooting off the front of the iron, no good. Greer had it, lost it. Scramble for it, touched last by Troy Murphy, who has missed his first couple of attempts this afternoon.
I think this is what Pitt has to do. Last time they played out, right? Played zone the whole time and got riddled by three-point shooting. This time, Ben Howland adjusts. Lots of man-to-man. I'm sure we'll see some zone, but I think they've got to start man-to-man.
The Irish go for the trap, and it works. Dillon, he's got Graves with him. The long bounce pass, a foul, and it counts. Foul is on Lockhart.
Nice pass by Dillon. Very smooth play. Graves, quicker than one thinks, fills the lane very quickly. Let's take a look. A trap on the sideline, executed very well. Watch this bounce pass. He needed the bounce pass to get it because Lockhart was in between. And not a good foul by Lockhart. If you're going to foul a guy, knock his arms off so he can't get the ball up to the goal. Chance for a three-point play by a pretty decent free throw shooter.
The Irish as a whole very good in that category, Bob. They're second in the Big East in free throw percentage, and they have their biggest lead of the opening half, up by 6.
Well, Seabrooks is not guarding Murphy, and I think that's a pretty good idea. Zavatkis was guarding him. Zavatkis is now out, so we'll see what Pitt does the next time down.
Carroll has also checked back in for Notre Dame after sitting briefly. Pittsburgh going with 3 guards right now. Greer and Seabrooks the only size. From the side, it's Greer bending, no good. Greer gets it back. There's an offensive rebound. He goes up off the glass, misses. Swanigan has that one. Seabrooks is still down. Remember, he took a blow in that Notre Dame game in South Bend and was out for a while. That one is off the front of the iron and chased down in the corner by Taylor.
Nice action. Lots of guys hustling.
Seabrooks kicks it back to Taylor. Taylor works his way into the lane, feeds it low, and hammered on the play was Seabrooks.
We are seeing right here Pitt not settling for three-point shots early on. That's what they were doing against zone. This time, watch him. They like to penetrate. He is not a three-point shooter, so what does he do? Penetrates the seam, draw people to you, and you can attack a zone that way also. You don't have to shoot from three-point range if you execute well.
We'll have some substitutes after this first free throw. Cartello and McCura are set to return or check in for the first time this afternoon for Notre Dame, and Jeremy Holmes is about to return for Pittsburgh as Seabrooks rattles out his first chance at the line.
I like Seabrooks. He really gets after it on the offensive boards. I think the 4th leading offensive rebounder in the league, and he gives them an inside presence that they really suffer when he's out of the game. Aggressive, 6'9", 240.
Injuries and health problems last year limited him to about 6 minutes a game. He's playing a lot more than that this year. Notre Dame by 5. That's Cartello, and he gives it up to McCura. Murphy tried to lean in, pushes it out of bounds, and a good job defensively by Seabrooks. He didn't come down with those hands, just went up, held his position.
Excellent defense. You're right. Matt Doherty wanting the foul, but Seabrooks, put your hands straight up, and you're not going to get the foul.
Taylor's 3 on the way. Good. Kelly Taylor, just 6 for 33 and 3-pointers this year, but that's a big one. It cuts the lead to 2.
Nice defense so far by the Panthers, allowing the ball to go in, though.
And that's what Murphy does best. That little spin move, and nothing that Seabrooks can do about it as Murphy gets his first points of the afternoon.
Well, Seabrooks needs help. You can't guard him one-on-one that close to the basket. Murphy did a good job of getting closer in than he did on the previous possession.
Bad pass by Taylor winds up a foul on Ricardo Greer as he tried to get the basketball back. Ricardo is going to go to the bench.
Right here, if you isolate Murphy with no help and you allow him to have some time, there's no way anybody in the league can guard him. You know, this guy's going to get 30 if you play him like that. But if you play him man-to-man, force him to get the ball a little bit further out and throw a double team at him, that's the best way to play him.
Murphy is 1 for 4, and so is Ricardo Greer, and Greer is out of the lineup right now for Pittsburgh as Cartello gets some pressure from Seabrooks. Now Dillon for 3, bending, no good. And let's see if we have a foul against Notre Dame. We do.
Cartello fouled twice, didn't he?
I think so. He got called the second time.
That's right. He got away with it the first time, but Jim Burr wasn't going to allow him to do it twice. Croatia, watch this. Is this not a foul, folks? What do you think? A little hook with his left arm? Wow.
That one wasn't called. The over-the-back was. Notre Dame by 4, 15-11. Here's Zavatkis, who's not had a shot so far this afternoon. The 3 is good, and he can light it up when he gets hot. That's Jarrett Lockhart.
The inside-outside play against zone, very effective.
Steal momentarily by Seabrooks, and gets it back off the foot of Dillon. No.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that was right in front of us. And right in front
Let's take a look. Chris Seabrooks made a great play defensively. but just pick it up, Chris. Don't start dribbling down the floor. A good call off his foot. Clearly, the Pittsburgh fans don't like it.
It was off the foot of Seabrooks. It looked like it went off to the people right next to the play, that it went off the foot of the offensive player. And there's the early shooting. Asthma problems have plagued Seabrooks, so he needs a blow now and then. He gets it here. Cartello, did he drag the pivot foot? Apparently not.
Very aggressive defense by Pitt. Up on people, that's what they got to do. Now when Murphy catches the ball, they need a double team. They decide to go man-to-man.
That's not going to go, and Notre is going to pick up the over-the-back foul. So the Irish, trying to crash the boards, have picked up a couple of fouls.
Well, Matt Doherty, pleased, a very enthusiastic guy in his first year. Of course, the great pedigree, North Carolina player, national championship, assistant with Kansas.
Now, one of the things he's tried to do at Notre Dame is bring back a lot of that basketball tradition, and they've got terrific tradition over the years.
They sure do, and of course, now being in a league really helps. When they were an independent for a while, they suffered a little bit, but now that they're in the Big East, they have recruiting power.
Lockhart's three is on the way, too strong. Holmes gets it back. Holmes is a good three-point shooter. He just doesn't shoot very many of them.
No, he's the kind of guy who plays efficiently. He's got efficient turnover to assist ratio.
Taylor's three rattles out. Cartello has the rebound. Matter of fact, there's a group, and we'll show them to you later, that got on a bus early this morning in South Bend, drove to Pittsburgh, and goes back as soon as the game is over. Possession arrow will keep it at this end, and that's a technical foul on Zavatkis.
What a shame. The guy's playing great defense. Maybe Lithuanian blood boiling a little bit too much. They had a technical foul in the second half the first time they played. Watch Zavatkis defensively right here. See how he fronts in there on his hands and knees in front of Murphy? And of course, he feels like he's being fouled right there. That's why he gets a little exuberant. A jump ball, but a technical foul on Zavatkis. Kelly Taylor had a tee in the second half at Notre Dame, which changed the momentum of the game. It was very tight at that point. And Zavatkis, despite doing a good job, not controlling his emotions.
So Troy Murphy, who shoots more free throws than anybody in the conference and shoots them very well, gets one at the line, he'll have another, and then the Irish will get the basketball back. So Zavatkis.
Troy Murphy is an unbelievable player. Look at those numbers. 23 and almost 11 rebounds a game. He's going to be a first-team All-American this year.
He buries both chances at the line. That gives him 4, and we have a timeout on the court with 11:43 to play. We're in the opening half, and Notre Dame, it's a little bit electric here, has the lead.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
I'm always coming up with great new promotions for 7-Up. Like this one. I ask people to send me pictures of their cans. Let's take a look. Oh! Look like 2 big Christmas hams. It shows you can. Look at the backyard on this fella. That about ends the first annual 7-Up Show Us Your Can contest. Next time I'll be more specific. Mom?
New Dakota Quad Cab comes with a nice big bed and big back doors that lead to a great big cab for putting things you don't want outside, inside, and vice versa. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Oops, that's better. Outside. Dodge Dakota Quad Cab. Big room, big doors, big difference.
It's 17-14. The Irish have the lead, and this is very physical so far here in the early going.
You have to play Murphy in a physical fashion. Lots of guys surrounding him. Murphy going after it also. A little scrum.
Of course, the last time these two teams were involved in a physical outing was the final game ever at Pitt Stadium. John Turman, the quarterback, to Antonio Bryant. A key play for Pittsburgh as they upset Notre Dame and closed out that Grand Old Stadium with a defeat of the Fighting Irish, which brought the goalposts down. And at this point in time, it's not just the goalposts for Walt Harris that are down over there. Just about everything else is down. That's where the new Convocation Center will be located. New basketball arena for Pittsburgh. Backdoor play and a foul underneath.
I love that coming out of a timeout. Pittsburgh was aggressive defensively. Matt Doherty in the huddle calls for a backdoor play. He knew Murphy was being guarded tightly. And of course, they send him to the line.
The second foul on Greer this afternoon, and there's two guys you have to watch out for. One of them, of course, Seabrooks. The other is Greer. If he gets in foul trouble, then you lose a lot of your offense.
Well, Greer, I think, is going to have to play with 2 fouls. Lots of time coaches take out their players with 2 fouls in the first half. But with 11 minutes to go, Ben Howland deciding to leave Ricardo Greer in the game. He's got to play intelligently. That was not a foul. That was not an intelligent foul right there, really. You know, he could have let Murphy score and been in better shape.
14 of 22. He's been in double figures, and he's off to a good start in that area this afternoon. 4 in a row at the line. The Irish have made all 5 of their free throws, and that's something else they did against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. They really whipped them at the foul line.
They really did. Murphy 7 times, 30-plus points. Wow. I had 30 once. Against Pittsburgh, as a matter of fact.
Was it here in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse?
No, it was at home. I could never play on the road. He's open.
Shot clock at 5. The shot is short. Greer battles for the rebound, and finally Cartello hangs on for Notre Dame. Back from the Irish. Martin Inglesby on the court, running the offense right now. Underneath Murphy, works his way inside bending. No good. Holmes the rebound. Murphy struggling just a little bit with his shot in the early going. He usually finishes those.
He really does. Timmy Higgins got one out front. Murphy normally scores on all of those. He's not getting a lot of double teaming.
Murphy just 1 of 6 shooting so far.
Well, let's see him down there, see if we can figure out why he's missing shots. I think he's being played physically before he gets the ball. Englesby going down. Let's see what kind of physical play we have here. He just steps through, a little off balance. Shot that he normally makes.
The foul was on Monserrat. It's a 5-point lead for the Fighting Irish, who've been up by as many as 6 here. Pittsburgh had an early 3-point lead. Ricardo Greer looks for some help along the baseline.
Good judgment right here by Pitt. Guys who can't shoot are not shooting.
Seabrooks from the foul line rolls it home. He has 5 points.
Pittsburgh is doing a very good job of finding the seams of the 2-3 zone. Well schooled right now. They played against Notre Dame's 2-3 zone last time. They got some experience against it.
Taylor able to fight over that screen. Now Monserrat looks to Graves. And a holding foul is on Taylor. That'll be his first.
With Murphy out of the game, Graves and Carroll must step up. Cartello and Swanigan in the game at the same time. That's kind of an unusual thing. They usually share the game. Zavatka's back after the technical foul. He's going to be an important player in this game. I like his game. I haven't seen him that much this year, but boy, he looks like he can shoot the ball, and he plays aggressively. From Lithuania.
Well, the last time you were here, he wasn't in the lineup. He was suspended at that point. Monserrat thought about 3, goes instead to Graves. They look inside to Cartello, spinning along the baseline. That's blocked against the backboard. Give the basket to Ivan Cartello.
The Seabrooks trying to get into the shot blocking arena of Atan Thomas and Samuel D'Alembert from Seton Hall, 2 of the most effective shot blockers in the country, certainly in the league.
But I tell you what, you put it up here, it's probably going to get off because these 2 teams are last and next to last in the conference in blocked shots. 4 turnovers now by the Panthers. Cartello off the glass, rolls it home. Second consecutive field goal for Cartello, and a timeout is called by Pittsburgh with 9:30 left in the half. 23-16. The Panthers take their first timeout. It is the biggest lead of the opening half for the Fighting Irish as they go up by 7 at 23-16. Still 9.5 to go. Getting some good bench play right now.
Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Sit go. You know me.
The V6 Passat.
Nice car.
Quick, responsive, room for 4.
Hang on. I saw this in a movie once.
Along with Bob Wenzel, I'm John Sanders. 23-16 for the Irish, and this game for Notre Dame as they move away from the Joyce Center is very important as they try to reach the upper levels of the conference.
Think of it as Syracuse by itself, then Seton Hall, Miami, Group 2, and then Group 3 is St. John's, Connecticut, and Notre Dame. Moving up will be Notre Dame if they have a great day today.
And at the bottom it is the Panthers trying to move away from a cluster they don't want to be around, especially next season when Virginia Tech joins the Big East.
And they do not have a favorable schedule in terms of difficulty, but they are playing better.
In their first 8 games, 7 of them have come against the top 6 teams in the conference. A three-pointer for Ricardo Greer. He is just 2 for 5 so far this afternoon, but he does slice that lead in half, and a traveling violation called on the Irish.
Well, one of the things that Pitt should be good at is pressure defense, and Jimmy Dillon, the point guard, has done a fabulous job. Last year was not a starter. This year Matt Doherty choosing him over Englesby, and he has responded in great fashion.
There was a stretch when they started both Englesby and Dillon at the beginning of this season. Loose ball goes to the Panthers. Zavatkis steps around the 3, reverses to Greer. Three-pointer bending no good. Graves is fouled by Zavatkis. That'll be his second.
Well, Zavatkis showing some aggression.
We are in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for Big East Conference basketball. Glad to have you with us on a chilly Sunday in Western Pennsylvania. I'm John Sanders along with Bob Wenzel.
A critical stretch, John, in a few minutes ago when Murphy was on the bench, we were wondering where the points were going to come from, and Cartello had 4 points on 2 consecutive possessions, allowed Murphy to rest, and then also continued scoring for Notre Dame. That's why they have the lead now.
Irish have been perfect at the free throw line so far, 6 out of 6, 2 by Graves, 4 so far by Murphy.
Look at his three-point field goal percentage, 43%. Man, that can win lots of games.
Carroll with an offensive rebound for the Irish. Notre Dame by 5.
I think Pitt's doing the right thing by being aggressive with their man-to-man. The little guys are pressuring it. The passes become more difficult to the post, as we see there.
Swanigan tried the alley-oop. So does Pittsburgh. Same result. No points at either end. Swanigan with the rebound. They look to Murphy. That's turned over. Greer comes back the other way. Panthers really don't have numbers, so Greer takes it all the way in and has it blocked by Swanigan. Now they reset. Zavatkis to Seabrooks. Kick it back tonight. Weaves his way into the lane and gets the roll. Knight gets his second field goal.
Well, that's where Brandon Knight needs to shoot the ball from. He is not a very good outside shooter, but if he can get in the paint, his defense is obviously 1-on-2 here. Let's see if Greer takes it.
He will be working on the freshman Carroll, and Matt will pick up his second foul. Matt, until he was about 14, lived in the Pittsburgh area, but he achieved most of his acclaim as a basketball player in the Philadelphia area, out of Horsham, PA. We'll have a couple of subs both ways when we come back with more Big East Conference basketball. The Irish have been up by 7, now leading by 3 in Pittsburgh.
Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Ford, built for the way you live.
No matter what season it is, it's always game time around here.
Come on, Mom, let's go.
And thanks to my Ford Windstar, I get them there safe and on time.
Windstar is the only minivan to earn the government's quadruple 5-star crash test rating for front and side impacts. It comes with room for the whole team, plus dual remote sliding doors that get them in the game fast.
Okay, now go out and win.
Star!
Ford Windstar, built for the way you live. And now lease a new Windstar for just $249 a month.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a 3-point lead for the Fighting Irish. We mentioned that the Panthers, Bob, have only 10 players, and I was wondering about practice for them, but they do have some extra people because Hawkins, who's out for the season, redshirted with an injury, is working out. Jaron Brown, who is out this year from Lexington, Kentucky, is working out with the team, and Chad Johnson, a transfer from Nebraska, also working out with the team. So they do have a few extra bodies for practice.
Well, that helps out a lot. And, of course, Isaac Hawkins is one of the best players in the league last year. If he and Seabrooks were together out here, this would be a much different look for Pittsburgh.
He is redshirted after that broken tibia, and he will be back next year. Of course, the Notre Dame Irish have a guy by the name of Ryan Humphrey, who's working out with them right now out of Oklahoma. Greer misses the 3. Monserrat tipped it away from Kelly, and back come the Irish with just 7:15 left in the half. Here's Murphy. He's been fairly quiet. Fans wanted the travel, didn't get it. Ricardo Greer now 2 for 8. Murphy draws a foul, count the basket. That's number 2 on Seabrooks. Murphy with 8 points, a chance to go to 9.
Well, he's going to have to come out of the game. Check it out. If you play him right here and allow him to catch the ball and then try to play solid defense, he's got too many moves. He's impossible to guard like that. The best job anyone has done on Murphy this year was Miami, and what they did was limit his touches by fronting him and coming with someone else behind. If he gets the ball like that by himself, he is absolutely deadly, although Pitt doing a pretty good job so far in this game.
That's why we talked about the other guys stepping up. If a team decides to go after him with a double team every time he touches the ball, then somebody else is got to be available, obviously.
And that's what Carroll and Graves have given to them in the last several games. And, of course, when you go like this, man-to-man, you're going to get in foul trouble. We talked about the problem of foul trouble when you try to guard Murphy, and Seabrooks a problem right now. Terrible pass by Holmes.
Turned over, number 5 in the turnover category for Pittsburgh. Graves for 3. The basket is good, and there's a foul underneath. And the foul's against Notre Dame. The basket counts, but I think the foul is going to be on Cartello. But the 3-pointer is good.
Well, just on cue, you talked about what they have to do when Murphy gets double-teamed. David Graves stepping up, the 3rd best 3-point shooting player in the conference. His dad is an architect, as we see the delivery right here, and he is constructing a nice 3-point shot right there.
But the foul was on Murphy, not on Cartello. So it is the first to the line is Lockhart, as it's the bonus for Pittsburgh, the front end of the 1-and-1.
Lockhart, his role is to score and to shoot threes off the bench. 11 points a game, only 1.2 assists. His job is not to pass.
Senior from the Bronx. They slice into what had been the biggest lead of the first half. It's now a 7-point edge for Notre Dame. Graves. Here's Murphy. Turns inside, missed the shot, tips it up, no good. Back the other way comes Knight. Looks to Lockhart trailing. Long 3, short. Lockhart gets it back. Penetrates off the glass and good.
Some energy right now given by Lockhart. He's kind of feeling it. And Murphy's struggling a bit.
And he misses the 3. So Murphy trying to break out of a shooting slump here in the first half. The lead is 5. Murphy is 2 for 10. Zavatkis blocked by Murphy. Graves comes back. It's 2-on-2 with Monserrat trailing the play. Murphy misses again. He's 2 for 11, and he's forcing it right now.
Right now he's wanting to get his team on the scoreboard. He's wide open on those shots. Doesn't look like he has his legs today. Looks a little fatigued.
Greer.
Nice patience right here by Pittsburgh. They got to get the right guy shooting, and this is him.
Off the foot of an Irish player with 5:35 to go in the half. A new 35 on the clock. 2 subs for each team, and Murphy struggling so far.
Zavatkis, there is a double team right there. Brandon Knight comes over to help out a little bit. And then, of course, the next possession, he's wide open right here. Nobody with him. And straight hands up. See how Zavatkis puts his hands straight up like that? That's the way you avoid fouls.
Inglesby with a steal. Hands to Monserrat. Notre Dame with the ball. 5.5 left in the first half. The lead is 5. Swanigan has it tapped away. But into the hands of Notre. Now Inglesby's 3. And he's been a good, solid three-point shooter, just not playing as many minutes as he has in the past.
18 minutes a game this year versus last year a starter, and about 30 minutes a game.
Zavatkis misses from outside. And the Irish come out of there. Swanigan to Monserrat.
McCure is also a good three-point shooter.
But that's one of the things that Kelly Taylor does best.
Steal the ball.
He averages almost 3 steals a game. Just beyond the foul line, and that one misses everything. Zavatkis got the timeout for Pittsburgh, so he grabbed the ball as he was going out of bounds, got the timeout. 30-25. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, and gives us a chance to take a look at some of our Volkswagen Big East leaders.
But when you talk about scoring and rebounding and assist, the rebounding category, the 2 best rebounders in the league here today, Murphy and Greer. Certainly Atan Thomas, Marcus Goree, and Boomche. Offensive rebounds, Murphy not involved, but Greer, the leading offensive rebounder in the league. Look at number 4. 2 guys from Pitt going to the boards. Does that mean they miss a lot of shots? Maybe.
Murphy, 9 points, no rebounds, and just 2 for 11 so far. And as you said, just forcing it just a little bit right now.
Well, that's natural. I mean, when you're a scorer like he is, he's going to get his points. Pitt doing a very good job defensively with him, very quick and active. He gets a lot of touches, but they're doing a tremendous job defensively on Murphy today so far.
Taylor for 3. It's short. McCure with a rebound. We go back to Martin Inglesby.
Inglesby had a good time last time against Pittsburgh, 3 for 4 from 3-point range, but that was because Pitt played mostly zone.
There's a 3 that is good, and McCure did a good job in hitting threes against Pittsburgh the last time out.
4 for 6 the last time they played. He gave them a tremendous lift.
He had a dozen points, just 1 under his collegiate high. Lead right now is 8. It's been as many as 9 for Notre Dame. Pitt had an early 3-point lead. Most of the half, though, it's been the Irish, and Pittsburgh turns it over once again.
Pittsburgh struggling against the zone. Not a lot of outside shooters in the game. Greer has been on the bench for quite some time. Coming in now. They need him badly.
8 turnovers charged to Ben Howland's club so far this afternoon, and it's been costly. They find themselves trailing by 8.
Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Dodge Dakota brings you a startling new advancement. Doors, great big ones, on the driver's side and the passenger side, each with windows that go all the way down. So what's the big deal about 2 great big wide opening doors? Nothing. But 4 is a different story. Real truck, real doors. Dodge Dakota Quad Cab. Different.
Right now it's 33-25. Notre Dame is on top by 8, 3:49 to go. A reminder about some Big East games coming up next weekend on your Big East Network. First of all, a rematch of a huge win for the Irish earlier this year as Connecticut goes to Notre Dame. 12 o'clock on Saturday the 12th. The only way to see this one is on television because it's sold out. And then on Sunday it'll be Georgetown right here in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse against Pittsburgh. Remember, in both cases, check your local listings.
You know, Troy Murphy only 2 for 11 so far in this game, and the Irish up 8. And part of the reason for that is David Graves is having a great night. Has made every shot except for 1 free throw.
Murphy misses again. But again, the Irish get it back. The 3 is too strong. That's going to go against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And that's going to go against Troy Murphy.
Well, Murphy's struggling tonight. This is probably the game so far for Matt Dougherty where he is trying to find some other things going. Murphy's been an unbelievably consistent performer in terms of scoring for the Irish, but they have a lead when he is not playing well, although he's making his free throws. And of course, a little frustration on the face of the leading scorer in the league. Doesn't want any Gatorade either.
2 fouls also against Murphy, and he has struggled. Everything's been a little bit too strong. He's just not quite in sync so far. It's the bonus for Pittsburgh, and Seabrooks cannot capitalize on the front end. It's tapped out of bounds, touched last by the Panthers, and it belongs to the Fighting Irish. So Notre Dame will come back with an 8-point lead. They've been up by as many as 9.
Well, Pitt not being able to take advantage of the fact that Murphy not having a good game. They are a big cause of Murphy not having a good game, but they're struggling on the offensive end. 3 little guys right now in the game for Pitt. Brandon Knight, Holmes, and Kelly Taylor.
Here comes Graves down the lane. Misses badly, though. Seabrooks has the rebound. 3 of the Irish starters are on the bench right now for Coach Matt Dougherty.
The problem for Pitt against a 2-3 zone right here is they do not have great outside shooting in the game. And the Irish can pack it in and crowd Greer as they're doing right here.
Holmes with it. Greer in the lane, bending off.
They found the right guy. Pretty good percentage shot right there, but it doesn't go down for Greer either.
Well, he's struggling too. He's just 2 for 9. Tries the overplay to get the steal. Swanigan misses the shot. Seabrooks the rebound.
In the absence of the 2 guys who are the key offensive performers, everything else kind of evening out right now. But Graves, so far, the story for the Irish.
Seabrooks fouled from behind. And Notre Dame foul will go on Monserrat. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. And, you know, without the 2 big guys scoring, there's a lot of empty trips so far for both teams.
Absolutely. You could see Seabrooks right there gasping for air. You referenced his asthma condition that he needs to be concerned about. Ben Howland sometimes has to get him in and out of the game just because he can't catch his breath.
He was also slowed last year by some knee problems in addition to the asthma.
I had a player one time who had asthma, and of course he had to have that spray deal, and I tell you, it looks like he's out of shape, but actually it's something that is very unavoidable for guys who have that particular condition. As we take a look at Dillon, he is not going to give them lots of offense, but he creates offense with his passing.
And they do have Dillon and Inglesby on the court at the same time, which they did a lot early in the season. Seabrooks, after missing a couple hits that one he has 6. Zavatkas comes back on.
I think the reason they have Inglesby and Dillon in the game at the same time is that Pitt went with the 3 little guys, and that's adding pressure. They need an extra ball handler in the game.
Murphy is out with a couple of fouls, and Troy with 9. Graves has picked it up, though, with 10 points here in the first half. Swanigan against Greer. That's an offensive foul on Swanigan, his 2nd. So a lot of players with 2. Greer, Zavatkas, Seabrooks each have 2 fouls for Pittsburgh, and now it's Swanigan, Murphy, and Carroll, and Monserrat with 2 for the Irish.
Terrific play right here by Ricardo Greer. Positions himself well. Swanigan takes a whack with his left elbow, and Greer, a very tough customer, very willing to take the offensive charge. They got to get him involved offensively. He's drawing too much of a crowd right now. The three little guys helps defense, but hurts a little bit offensively for Pitt. None of them outstanding from the outside.
Well, here's an outside try by Holmes, too strong. The rebound to the Irish and Cartello. Back comes Dillon, the senior, matched up against the freshman Brandon Knight, brother of Brevin, out of Seton Hall Prep. Graves along the baseline, nails it. He's got 12. David having a good first half, picking it up for Notre Dame.
He really is. He's the story for the Irish in terms of scoring. And of course, he has a little guy on him right now. He knew where to go, inside. Normally an outside shooter, tough enough to score inside against a smaller player.
Second time the Irish have had a 9-point lead here in the opening half.
They are matching up well out of the 2-3 zone. They know who to guard and who not to guard. Greer is going to draw a crowd when he touches it.
Shot clock now at 6. Greer. Knight trying to move against Dillon, bangs it off the glass, no good, and Cartello the rebound.
He has done a tremendous job defensive rebounding right there, preventing second shots.
Inglesby for 3. That one's way off the mark. Here's Taylor. Dillon will try to chase him down. Taylor spins, goes up, has it blocked. Knight with it. He turns, draws a crowd, throws it away.
They want a 30-second timeout right here.
And Notre Dame will get it with 21 seconds left in the half. The lead is 35-26.
Bob McKinnon talking to Matt Doherty, them wanting to set up a play. Watch this. Kelly Taylor should have touched this ball. If he didn't, he gets in a bad position. Too many bodies for a little guy right here. Brandon Knight tries to go up, doesn't see anything, throws the ball away, and the Irish have an opportunity to extend the lead.
A reminder, we are 21 seconds away from the National Car Rental halftime report. We'll have news and notes, look back at some of the excitement of yesterday, the suspension involving St. John's, and also some team suspensions for UConn. The Huskies took it on the chin, but the Pirates and the Canes came up with big wins. All of that plus the highlights and stats from the opening 20 minutes coming up on the National Car Rental halftime report. Notre Dame basketball.
Key here right now, John, is Notre Dame has the basketball right now, and they will have the basketball to start the second half. An opportunity for them to open a big lead. Murphy not in the game. Look for Graves.
Graves and Dillon right now, the only starters on the court for Notre Dame. And time runs out before Notre Dame can get off a shot, so they will have to settle for a 9-point halftime lead at 35-26. We will begin our National Car Rental halftime report when we come back to Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh after this. To start the second half of play here at the University of Pittsburgh, the Panthers down by 9. That matches the biggest lead that the Irish had in the first half. Let's look at some individual lines from some of the key players in the first half. You talked, of course, about Graves and the great job that he did in rescuing the Fighting Irish.
Well, rescue is right. 12 points in the first half, 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from three-point range. David Graves, really the hero for the Irish so far on the road. Surprisingly, Ricardo Greer, only 5 points, only 3 rebounds, 2 for 9, and 0 from the free throw line. Not getting involved as much offensively. Also only 9 points, only 9 points, only 1 rebound for Troy Murphy. He's only 2 for 11, but got to the free throw line and made 5 of 5 from there. So that's why Notre Dame has got a lead.
It'll be Greer, Zavatkas, Seabrooks, Holmes, and Knight, the starting 5, as it was at the beginning of the game for Pittsburgh. Swanigan, Graves, Murphy, Dillon, and Carroll will go for the Fighting Irish.
They'll try to establish Murphy right off the bat. He ducked in, and nice defense right there by Holmes to kick the ball aside. Whenever you can pressure on the perimeter, that makes it very difficult to throw the ball inside to a posting up player, and that's what Pitt has done right here with Murphy.
And here is Murphy against Seabrooks along the baseline, misses again.
Solid defense right there by Seabrooks, crowding Murphy. His legs are not in his shot today.
The Panthers have not scored since 6:21 remained in the first half. A field goal, that is. They didn't make a free throw, and that's thrown away, deflected and tipped into the hands of the Fighting Irish. 10 turnovers for Pittsburgh.
Well, the reason that Pitt can't score is that the zone defense, as Murphy scores, the zone defense of Notre Dame is playing intelligently. They are backing off, allowing shots for non-shooters. Take a look right here, effectively getting the ball into the superstar, and he's in the blue paint, and you're not going to stop him there. And of course, Seabrooks, another foul. From a different angle, see, he catches the ball in the blue paint. There's nothing Seabrooks can do right there.
But pick up foul number 3. So Seabrooks is the first player on either team in real foul trouble as Murphy misses for the first time at the line this afternoon. Back come the Panthers, trailing by double figures, and Seabrooks takes care of that off the Greer feed.
Well, they've got to score some way, and they're certainly not doing it against the zone. So Pitt adroitly getting the ball up the court, taking advantage of a break situation. They need to do more of that.
Cartello set to check back in for Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish have led most of the half, and let's see if the foul is on Seabrooks or it's on Murphy. And it's going to be on Seabrooks, so immediately he gets 2 fouls and has 4.
That is deep, deep trouble. Seabrooks trying to front. You can see the frustration on his face of trying to guard a guy. Every Irish player on every catch is looking for Murphy. That makes it very difficult to defend him. And of course, we wanted Seabrooks to play in this game, but now he is sitting in this game. Zavatkis will have to do the job on Murphy now. It's interesting, you know, you look at Murphy and you say, well, he's only got 9 points, he's only 2 for 11, but he's creating foul trouble for his opponents. And even when he doesn't get big numbers, he's still very much a part of what goes on for the Irish.
Monserrat is checked back in along with Cartello for the Irish. This is Cartello. They go inside. It's knocked away from Murphy as he drew 2 players defensively for Pittsburgh. Lockhart has come on now to take the spot of Seabrooks. That means that the Panthers go real small again.
Real small, but maybe more shooting.
Zavatkis has not scored this afternoon. Greer has and hits a 3, his second. That's 8 for Ricardo Greer.
For Pittsburgh fans, that's what they want to see. Another foul right here. Lots of physical play going on right here.
That's number 3 on Zavatkis.
Check Greer out at the other end. They need more of this. Inside, then outside. Plants himself inside. Feels like he's open, calling for it, but he drifts to the corner, and they find him.
Inside, Cartello on the inbound play lays it in. So Cartello picks up his 3rd field goal. 39-31 Irish.
There is no center in the game. When Zavatkis at 6'6" or 6'7" is your biggest guy, you have problems inside. And Notre Dame, Cartello doing a very good job offensively in this game. 6'11", 250. That's a hard matchup for Pitt.
Knight spins on Monserrat, goes back to Holmes.
See, with Knight and Holmes in there, they give you defense, but not too much of this.
Zavatkis, the offensive rebound for Pittsburgh. It's stolen away. Here comes Dillon. Holmes will chase. Now it's Monserrat, and it's blocked from behind. Finally, Greer, and Pittsburgh has numbers as they come back. Greer looks to the corner. Lockhart's 3, good.
Greer and Lockhart are the guys who are going to have to bring this back. They should be shooting almost every possession.
Here's Murphy alone inside. Zavatkis went for the steal. Murphy now has 13 points.
And the enthusiasm temporarily dampened. Everybody was up when Lockhart made the 3. They sat down quickly when Murphy countered. They are looking for Lockhart in the corners here.
Out of bounds, turned over by Knight. 16:42 remaining in the game. It's 41-34. Notre Dame is on top. They have stretched it out to as many as 11 here in the second half, and the Irish will have the basketball back.
Well, Ben Howland a little troubled right now. Not a lot of options available for him. Seabrooks with 4 fouls is going to have to stay on the bench for about the next 10 minutes. Unless they get too far behind, he'll have to use him.
Murphy. Dillon saw him. They were trying to front him, so Murphy puts away points 14 and 15 this afternoon.
Well, he only had 9 at halftime, and we were talking about what a bad game he's having. But I'll tell you what, when you're the focus of the offense, you're going to get lots of opportunities, and that is happening for him.
Back to a 9-point Notre Dame lead.
They got to get the ball to Greer a little bit here. Easy to say, hard to do.
Lockhart's 3, and he's on target right now. That's 13 for Lockhart. He had 20 2 weeks ago against the Irish.
Well, he loves to play against zone.
Martello works his way and misses the lay-in. Lockhart has it for Pittsburgh. Panthers have the numbers, 4 on 3. Greer toward the lane. Now Knight steps down the lane, has it knocked away into the hands of Lockhart. He goes to the baseline.
Knight unselfish, but lots of freshman turnovers in this game so far.
Good pass to Zavatkis, and he finishes. That's his first field goal. He averages almost 10 a game off a nice pass from Greer.
Greer showing unbelievable unselfishness right now. They've got to get lots more movement in their offense. They're better when they use their quickness. Standing around against the zone is not going to help them.
And Greer trying to guard Cartello. Three-pointer is on the way, too strong. Lockhart picks up the loose ball.
Push it. Lockhart slowing it down. He wants to play against the zone. The faster they move it, the better off they're going to be.
Lockhart for 3. Rims out.
Great play by Greer.
It'll be Pittsburgh basketball. The Panthers with 14:47 remaining in the game. The Irish definitely getting Troy Murphy, the #1 player in the league, more involved in the second half. And it's helped them sprint out to a 4-point lead over Pittsburgh.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
One of the biggest wins for Notre Dame this year came at UConn early in the season. The rematch is coming up on Saturday. Khaled El-Amin and the Huskies of Kevin Freeman, they'll mush through the snow in South Bend to take on Troy Murphy at the raucous Joyce Center. Connecticut and UConn on Saturday. Starting at noon, check your local listing. Should be a dandy. It's already sold out.
Absolutely. Big time. That was a shocking win when Notre Dame beat Connecticut early. Pittsburgh has dug right back in it. They were down 8 at halftime. Only down 4 by virtue of this guy's outside shooting.
That's 2 3-pointers in a row he has missed. An offensive rebound. What else for Ricardo Greer?
He can hustle and he uses his body well. Pittsburgh, no center in the game. Biggest guy, 6'7".
3-pointer Holmes. That's good. And the Panthers are down by just 1 as Holmes makes his first basket of the afternoon. Well, Pittsburgh is on a roll right now. It's 43-42.
Lockhart has made 2 threes, and Holmes has made 1, and Ricardo Greer 1. They are living and dying by the 3 right now, and it's gotten them back in the game. Little enthusiasm by the Panthers defensively, too.
You'll recall in the game last week at South Bend, Notre Dame was down 11 in the second half. They used the 3-point shooting, especially by some of their people off the bench, especially Matt Carroll in that game, to blow right by West Virginia and win it.
Number 3 for the Irish, Troy Murphy, is a momentum stopper, though, believe it. Look at this action inside. Zavatkis, very aggressive.
Graves with a miss. Murphy has the rebound, puts it up, and he misses. Tipped up again, no good. Finally, Graves will watch it go out of bounds. It belongs to Pittsburgh.
Love the hustle, love to see it. Lots of physical play. Matt Doherty doesn't mind it. He was a physical player for Carolina. Got a national championship ring.
The Panthers now with a chance to take the lead. And it has been a while since the Panthers have been on top.
Well, right now, Brandon Knight looking to set screens and trying to distribute.
Oh, they had
Greer was open, took too long.
He finally gets the shot and hits the basket. Greer with a three. His second of the second half, and Pittsburgh is on top. The answer, no. An air ball. Greer kicks it ahead to Holmes. An 11-0 Pittsburgh run. Lockhart puts it up and in. Lockhart leading the charge, and the Panthers are on top by 3. Wow, what a turnaround. They're on top by 4, 47-43.
Oh, you love to see that kind of enthusiasm going, especially for an underdog. But I'll tell you what, when you're at home, these are familiar rims. Lots of Notre Dame fans sitting on their hands right now.
Well, as a matter of fact,
fans are up.
There's a group of 44 that boarded a bus in the pre-dawn hours to make the trip to Pittsburgh. They will return by bus immediately after the game, and they don't like what they've seen of lately.
Well, three-point shooting, same spot. Ricardo Greer hit one earlier from there. And, of course, Lockhart filling the lane. The enthusiasm going strong, uses the glass to soften the shot, and gets 2. Lockhart giving them igniting off the bench. And, of course, he's been around here for a long time. He is a deadly three-point shooter. That's what he's supposed to do for them, and doing it well tonight.
The last 3 minutes have belonged to Pittsburgh, a 13-0 run. The Irish, though, familiar with that. You'll recall last week on Wednesday at home against West Virginia, they went on a 15-0 run and wound up burying the Mountaineers.
They also buried St. John's with a 17-2 run, beat them 73-60 in their home arena. But this is the road. This is different.
Mercura goes to Inglesby. He's a good three-point shooter.
Can Zavatkis guard Murphy for long periods of time? So far, doing a very excellent job.
Boy, it is physical. O'Carroll gets inside, finds Murphy stripped, knocked away by Lockhart. Here's Greer at the other end to Holmes.
Oh, my goodness. Why did Greer give that up? He's unselfish to a fault.
Should have gone to the basket.
I think so.
Pittsburgh has a 4-point lead and a 13-0 turnaround. The foul will go on Mercura. That is his second.
Brandon Knight, knowing that he cannot shoot from the perimeter, has sacrificed his body, looking to screen everywhere, and he screens against the zone right here. Look at him, setting that screen on Mercura. And, of course, taking the dive. They have a School of the Arts, and he's in the acting class here at Pittsburgh.
And Graves will return for the Irish. To the bench goes Mercura.
They need him. He's got lots of experience. Only a sophomore, but he played 33 minutes a game last year.
And he thought he had to avoid that midcourt line, so Holmes turns it over. Graves with Swanigan, and Swanigan lost control out of bounds. The Irish will have it. 12-12 to go in the game. Kelly Taylor will report for the first time in the second half for Pittsburgh.
Right now, Holmes makes a mistake right here on the out-of-bounds play, but he does a good job when he gets back and prevents an easy layup 2-on-1 situation. Wrong guy to pass to. Graves should have shot it up. Swanigan could have gone to the offensive boards.
The drought continues as Carroll misses. The Irish have not scored a field goal in the last 4.5 minutes. It's been all Pittsburgh, a 13-0 run. Zavatkis, Greer. He's made a couple of threes. That one not set for. Zavatkis pushed by Swanigan. That's 3 on Harold.
The intangibles by the redhead are improving his chances to stay in the game and his team to win. Zavatkis doing a great job in the little areas that don't show up.
Trying to pick it up for Chris Seabrooks, out with 4 fouls. Pittsburgh has the lead at home.
What do you think? It's got to move left. What about how far? I'd say about 2 feet. I'm thinking 3.
Yeah, it's your call.
Move it 3 feet left.
You heard him. Left.
Win the keys to the Buick Golf Dream House. Just guess Tiger's score in the Buick Invitational, and the house, tons of golf, and a new Buick Century could be yours. Log on to tiger.buick.com to enter.
Make it 5 feet. Everybody's an architect.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Out here, it seems the wind never stops blowing. They call it the velocity zone. Build and remodel homes here, and you soon learn what you can and can't trust. Contractor John Miranda trusts only one window, Anderson. That's why if you ask him to use anything other than Anderson, he'll ask you to sign a release. So his reputation remains solid. Worry-proof, time-proof. Anderson Windows.
Nothing run for Pittsburgh. They have the lead 47-43. Let's take a look at our Beck's Beer game summary. What a turnaround in the second half. Sparked, of course, by Jarrett Lockhart.
Jarrett Lockhart shooting threes. Look at where it says Pittsburgh. 5 for 8 of three-point field goals in the second half. That is the story of the reason why they have taken the lead. Graves and Murphy doing a good job. Jarrett Lockhart responding for Pitt. We got an exciting game right here.
You recall Ben Howland's club led the nation in field goal and three-point shooting his last year at Northern Arizona, so he's familiar with that.
I asked him about that, and he said, well, I had a lot of good three-point shooting.
Sure. It helps when they can put it in the hole, doesn't it?
It also helps when you have the green light.
Knight gets inside, and it's a 15-0 Panther run.
Talked about Knight. That's what he's supposed to do. Forget about three-point shooting. Play D like this and take it to the hole.
Now numbers. Inglesby pulls up and drills the two. He was on the line. So Inglesby's first field goal is a two. It does end a 15-0 Panther run.
I'll tell you what, Martin Inglesby plays better against zone offensively, but he's got lots of experience. Starter last year, only averaging 18 minutes a game this year, about 30 minutes a game last year. He's had some experience, and you like that with a guy coming off the bench.
The Irish went almost 4 minutes, 3:55 to be exact, between field goals.
Ball's moving too slowly right here. They need to move the ball quickly and then penetrate. That's the kind of movement you need.
But a long three won't go. Cartello, the rebound for Notre Dame. Here's Carroll, bumped by Taylor. Now they reverse the ball.
Taylor knew that Carroll likes to shoot in transition, so he was there. Intelligent play defensively.
Inglesby leans in, rattles out. Into the hands of Murphy, and he's fouled by Knight. That'll be the first this afternoon on Knight. Glad you could join us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brandon Knight picks up his first foul. It is the Panthers right now on a 15-2 run who have taken the lead.
Well, they have shown a lot of heart, John, and coming back mostly by the virtue of three-point shooting. Lockhart, Greer, and Holmes made one also. Troy Murphy, the kind of guy who can stop a team's momentum and get a team back on track. He hasn't been great from the field today, and he's getting some opportunities at the free throw line.
He has missed his last two free throw opportunities as Seabrooks, who sat down with 18:47 left, comes back some 8 minutes later with 4 fouls.
Well, we'll see what this does. He had 2 fouls quickly in the second half trying to guard Mr. Murphy, and that sent him to the bench. They played well without him.
A full house in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, and they are enjoying a good basketball game. The Irish, of course, favored coming in, but the next step for Notre Dame, you talked about their success in the Joyce Center. They've got to win on the road.
Well, that's going to distinguish their season. If they can get some road victories in the Big East Conference, they will move up into the upper echelon. They certainly have their opportunity.
Pittsburgh by 3 with the basketball. Holmes looks to Greer. Tapped away by Murphy. Pittsburgh with 16 on the shot clock, 10:08 on the game clock.
Take a look at Murphy. He is a difficult guy to guard, and he puts people in foul trouble frequently in games. When you think of Pitt right now, Lockhart and Greer, option 1 and 2, trying to get those guys on the scoreboard. They've had a great run, and they got to continue with that right here.
Well, Murphy may miss some as he has so far today, but he keeps coming at you. He keeps pounding you inside.
He really does, and they look for him on every catch. Everybody's looking at him.
Tapped out of bounds, and that one hit Griffin Abel, one of the Pittsburgh subs, and they have Pittsburgh subs walk-ons who play a lot for Pittsburgh, obviously with a 10-man roster. We are midway through the second half. Holmes steps down the lane and draws a foul.
I believe it might be Gray.
No, it's Inglesby. Martin Inglesby from Philadelphia picks up his first foul. Matt Doherty will go to his bench. Dillon set to check back in along with Monserrat.
Trying to get some enthusiasm going right here. Pitt clearly in control at this juncture of the game, but we got a tight one. Holmes is a guy who's an efficient player. Does not take lots of shots, but when he does, they're pretty good. Not a great free throw shooter, 65% from the free throw line. I like his headband.
Pittsburgh is only number 12 in the league. That's next to last in the free throw shooting. They come in averaging just 64%. But he makes 2, and they could be important, Bob, as we come down the stretch for the Panthers.
He is a senior, played lots last year, has a confident air about him. He has the ability to stick on people, as does Kelly Taylor.
Now it's Greer leaning on Murphy. He draws the double team. Greer almost got it from behind. Murphy inside to finish it off the glass. 18 for Troy Murphy.
I begin to wonder whether Zavatkis didn't do a better job on Murphy than Seabrooks.
Zavatkis out of the lineup right now. Holmes for 3. And this one is rebounded by Taylor. He'll bring it back out. The Panthers get a fresh clock, leading by 3, and that's going to be a foul inside on the Irish Cartello.
That was nice hustle by Kelly Taylor. Littlest guy on the floor gets an offensive rebound, maintains possession, and each possession is very important. We still got a long way to go, but you don't want to be throwing possessions away if you don't have to. Kelly Taylor using the hustle.
They use Taylor right here as the safety valve, and he brings it back into forecourt. 51-48, Pittsburgh leading. Clock winding down to 9 minutes to play. Lockhart, they jump out on him. Greer.
Too much looking with each guy. Got to move it quicker. Got to get touches fast and penetrate.
Taylor almost lost it. He draws a trap in the corner. Inside, tried to go to Seabrook, stolen by Cartello.
Wow, what a great play by Cartello. 6'11" guy getting that low, huh, John?
Terrific play. Cartello with a steal. Now starts against Seabrooks. They go inside Murphy, and Greer knocks it away. Greer with a steal. Back comes Pittsburgh. They don't have numbers, but Holmes penetrates. It's blocked by Cartello. And now Cartello will go nose to nose if necessary with Holmes.
Let's take a look at it. Cartello getting enthused about his block shot. Right here, a great steal by Greer. 2 of the better guys in the league matched up. And the little guy going into the big trees. Cartello, a little taunting, but no tee.
He got some taunting of his own when he went back to the Notre Dame bench, didn't he?
Need to explain some of the rules of the American game to the Croatian-born player.
Well,
he's given them a big lift. He really has.
You're going to get it given back to you by the fans, and that's what happened here. A lot of Irish fans on hand, but this place is basically sold out. Oh, pass inside, held ball. Zavatkis. You heard John Hughes say easy, and the possession error will keep it at this end.
Well, Zavatkis has some fire in him.
9 on the shot clock.
1 technical so far for Zavatkis in the game. Think maybe he might get another one?
I hope not for his sake.
He's a physical player and has some good quickness about him. Has done a reasonably good job on one of the better offensive players in the country, in Troy Murphy.
We'd like to get some more scoring out of him. Greer from straight away, and he buries a 3. That is Greer's 3rd three-pointer in the second half, and Pittsburgh back to a 6-point lead. They have lived by the 3 in the second half. Monserrat working on Holmes. Here's McCura to Dillon. And skip it all the way to Monserrat for 3, and he hits that one. So Monserrat's first field goal is a 3.
And the reason Monserrat was able to be open like that is his man came in to help on Murphy. And when that happens, Holmes was all the way in the paint, left Monserrat wide open, and they found him.
3-point lead for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
See how each guy catches it and surveys the situation? They're better off when they move the ball quickly.
They tried to go over the top that time to Seabrooks. Instead, Swanigan back for Notre Dame. Now Dillon. They had Murphy open briefly. I'll tell you, Zavatkis is going to have bruises all over his body. That's going to be a double foul, I think, on Murphy and Zavatkis. And if it is, that is the 4th on Zavatkis. And on Murphy, it'll be number 3. And that's exactly what it is. It's a double foul. The Pittsburgh Panthers have used 3-pointers, a half dozen of them here in the second half. 3 by Ricardo Greer to come back into it. 54-51, the Panthers have the lead.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. See, I had to get away and blow off some steam. I wanted to book a 4-star hotel, so I went to Priceline.com. Name my own price. Now I'm getting red carpet treatment at shag carpet prices. Yeah, there's a better life for me and you.
Why on earth would an airline remove rows of seats from all their planes? Oh, that's why. American Airlines introduces more room throughout coach. Soon, we'll have more room for more coach passengers than any other airline, row after row after row. On American, coach has more class.
When I was ready to buy a diamond engagement ring, people tried to give me advice. There was a lot I didn't know, things like misgrading and laser drilling, things that can really affect the value of a diamond. You want my advice? Stop by Fortunoff and pick up their free Diamond Buyer Survival Guide. Read it. It tells you what to look out for. I chose Fortunoff as the place to buy a diamond, but even if you don't, get the guide. Fortunoff, the source for diamonds.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh, where we have seen some bruising play inside in the Big East. Troy Murphy gets a lot of attention. He and Zavatkis going at it big time, and the resultant foul on both of them by Tim Higgins.
And outside, the Panthers have reclaimed the lead thanks to some terrific shooting. You see the improvement, 6 out of 12 after 4 of 15 in the first half. The Irish just won here in the second half.
Very uncharacteristic. You would think Notre Dame would be the better three-point shooting team, and Pittsburgh doing a tremendous job from the outside, and they've got to.
Murphy off the glass and good. Murphy with 20.
He is a scoring machine, and they look for him every possession. What pressure that puts on your defense.
The Irish are down by just 1 now. I guess the question is, Bob, can they continue to shoot the threes? They're going to have some shot making to stay ahead in this game. They've got Holmes for a 3. Yes, sir.
Well, I think Holmes answered that question, at least temporarily.
This is Dillon. Murphy on the perimeter right now. Seabrooks is locked up with Swanigan.
Seabrooks doesn't need to do that. Play behind Swanigan. He's got about 3 or 4 inches on him. Swanigan is not a threat to go over him. Play behind Swanigan. Look at that action inside. Man.
That's a traveling violation on Mercura. The turnover will give it back to the Irish. Double figures now for Notre Dame, 10 turnovers.
You asked if they continue shooting threes. Right here, Holmes wide open because of the penetration by Brandon Knight. And he is capable of knocking those in. Brandon Knight, his thing is to penetrate and dish. Try not to shoot too much except in the paint. And his distribution has been very good. 1 for 8 last time these two played. He's a non-shooter, but he knows how to distribute, and he is a winner.
Inside, 6 minutes remaining. It is the Panthers by 4. They got back in it thanks to that huge 15-0 run, and there's an over the top to Seabrooks. He's in double figures with 10.
The lob pass available because there was no pressure on the passer.
Pittsburgh has matched its biggest lead. A 6-point edge. Graves wants to go to. Murphy can't do it because of Zavatkis. Dillon gets it back outside. Monserrat to Graves. Dillon's jumper. Bending, bending, bending. Good. First basket today for Dillon.
A friendly rim. Zavatkis is exhausted in his attempts to guard Murphy. He is walking up the floor, motioning to Ben Howland. He wants to come out. Ben says, no. Stay in there. Maybe a timeout. Not a bad idea.
Pittsburgh will take the timeout with 5:03 left.
Zavatkis admirable in his defense.
Well, a reminder about what's coming up in the Big East Conference and how you can keep track of your favorite Big East Conference team. Log on to www.bigeast.org. Tonight it's Boston College playing at number 23 Vanderbilt, a tough test for the Big East. Then tomorrow, Georgetown at Miami and Seton Hall at number 4 Syracuse, as they will make up a game that was postponed earlier this year.
That is a big, big game. Syracuse, number 1 in the conference. Seton Hall tied with Miami for number 2 in the conference. Very important game. Seton Hall has won their last 2 games at the Dome. Ben Howland right now having to hydrate because he's losing a lot of sweat in this game. His team battling and playing very well in the second half.
The Pittsburgh Panthers, like some other teams that play the Fighting Irish, have made more 3-pointers than 2-pointers this afternoon.
Interesting detail. The Irish getting out of zone right here after the timeout. A little trapping man-to-man.
And again, they go over the top. A foul on Cartello, and the basket is good. Seabrooks with a dozen.
Pass. John, you're right. Seabrooks with a dozen, and this is a long cross-court pass. The Irish go out to trap, surprise Pittsburgh, but they maintain poise. Look at this long cross-court pass, and he is fouled by Cartello. Seabrooks alive.
Seabrooks with 12. Wow.
Woo.
And he can't complete it. Greer momentarily kept it alive, and Swanigan comes out of there with it. Pittsburgh Panthers, when they lead at the 5-minute mark in a game, are 9-0 this year. Can the Irish end that run? That's going to be on Zavatkis. And I've got 5 on him.
He should get a standing ovation for the defensive job he did in this game. And they're beginning to cheer for him, the appreciative fans. Zavatkis, fiery. Maybe it's the red hair, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, he did a tremendous job guarding a great player.
Well, if he doesn't slam that ball down in disgust earlier in the game for that technical, he'd still be out there.
Well,
so
that's right. That's right. Technicals, cows count in your personal total. And, of course, you're right. He'd only have 4, but he goes to the bench after having done a lot of work. He's going to be bruised tonight.
You're telling me. If I was him, as soon as this is over, I'd go straight to the whirlpool.
Don't forget, Seabrooks has 4 fouls as well. With 4:32 left in the game, they cannot afford to lose him. And Zavatkis did a better job on Murphy. I think Greer is going to guard Murphy right now. Greer not in foul trouble. You're going to see the two of the best forwards in the league going after each other. Greer and Murphy matched up. Greer trying to front because he's less tall.
Graves for 3, a miss. Seabrooks, a strong rebound and a foul called on the Irish.
We are getting physical in Pittsburgh. Seabrooks handling it well. When Seabrooks comes down here, he needs to land with wider feet in order to maintain his balance, but he gets clobbered right here. Carroll grabbed him around the arm, and he went down. Seabrooks going to the free throw line.
Carroll picks up his 3rd foul. It's a bonus now for Pittsburgh. Seabrooks just 2 of 6 at the free throw line.
Not a place where he's comfortable.
Well, each team is going to be shooting a lot. He misses the front end. Notre Dame will have it. Lockhart trying to sneak in there. Ben Howland's club now. Those free throws in the last few minutes, both teams will be shooting because we're about to go in the bonus both ways. Could be the difference in this ballgame.
Really could, and obviously close games. Nice. Oh, man. We are getting a clinic on inside play right here. Zavatkis, Seabrooks, and Greer trying to defend. How does a smaller guy guard a bigger guy? Get in front of him. Don't let him touch the ball. If he does, you're dead. Greer, nice playing.
This is Dillon. Now Graves.
You know, when we talk about fronting, it's easier to say to front a man than to actually do it. Look at Greer and Murphy going at it. They are trying to prevent him from touching the basketball.
It'll be a 1-and-1 now for the Irish. So each team has 7 team fouls here in the second half.
Notre Dame, number 13, Matt Carroll, shooting 1-and-1.
Matt Carroll, a good free throw shooter.
Most of the Irish players are.
78% from there. Had a big game against West Virginia in his last game. Only 4 points today, under his average, as you can see.
And a pair for Carroll at the line. He has 5 in the game. The freshman from Horsham, by way of Pittsburgh, makes it a 4-point game with 3:55 remaining. We have an official timeout in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, and yes, it is the Panthers leading at home.
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Sitco, you know me.
I have often walked down the street before.
Thousands of physicians in neighborhoods all over town and in medical centers accept HIP. That's down the block and around the corner, or even on the street where you live. There's a good chance that HIP has your doctor, so call us at HIP and see if your doctor is on our list.
Knowing I'm on the street where you live.
Welcome back to Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. The Panthers are leading. Let's take a look at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
A cross-court lob alley-oop to Seabrooks, and he is fouled on this play. And an outstanding pass, the Advance Auto Parts play of the game.
Now the Panthers will have it. Pittsburgh with 2 timeouts remaining. Notre Dame has 3. The possession arrow right now.
Trap coming, trap coming.
That arrow is pointed in Pitt's direction at the present time.
Man-to-man defense right here by Notre Dame. Their staple is the 2-3 zone.
So here comes Knight with penetration, partially blocked by Swanigan. Seabrooks gets it back and misses. Carroll the rebound. 3.5 to go. Notre Dame down by 4.
I like change of defense after timeout. Matt Doherty using it effectively.
They actually came out like they were going to play their 2-3 zone and jumped immediately into the, there's a turnover as Carroll slipped. And when both feet hit the court, that's going to be a turnover.
Matt Doherty telling him, look for the shot. Let's see if they stay in man-to-man defense right here. 2-3 is their best, but the three-point shooting of Ricardo Greer and company has been effective in the second half, and that's why Notre Dame is going man-to-man here. Look for Brandon Knight to try to dribble penetrate.
They kick it to Holmes all alone, and he lays it home. Jeremy Holmes in double figures with 10. 4 Panthers in double figures this afternoon. Pittsburgh's lead is 6. Dillon traveled.
The turnover bug is biting the Irish right here, and they have a tendency to turn the basketball over. Playing a little out of control right there.
They are last in the league in that stat that you don't care for, known as turnover margin.
Holmes shaking free. Nobody underneath the basket. They cleared the area like Princeton does. Everybody was free throw line extended and higher, and as a result, Holmes, the easy layup.
Man, looking to jump into the trap, and they do, but Knight beats it as he dribbled through the double team. Almost lost it and goes all the way to Lockhart.
Well, when it goes man-to-man, Brandon Knight, his eyes light up. He'd like to penetrate against Notre Dame in a man-to-man situation.
Holmes off the Seabrooks screen, gets inside. Knight reverses, misses. Seabrooks tips it in. Chris Seabrooks comes up huge.
The 4th best offensive rebounder in the league, showing it wide.
Inglesby. Murphy draws a double team. Knight picks up his 2nd foul. Had to put the clamps on Troy Murphy, who will go to the line. And so far this afternoon, he is 6 of 8.
That's an okay foul by Brandon Knight right there. Murphy way away from the basket. But with a lead like this, you've got to get in your mind that you're going to double team number 3. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble.
The Panthers used that 15-0 run and some three-point shooting ignited by Ricardo Greer and Jarrett Lockhart to climb back in this game, and they now have their biggest lead of the afternoon. Murphy cannot answer. He missed the front end. A costly miss. Graves with his first foul. And we will walk all the way to the other end.
Notre Dame is a team that has gone on great spurts this year to win games, but in close games they're kind of methodical, and it's difficult to come from behind when you're in that kind of a situation. Quickness on the perimeter, defensive pressure is what you need when you're behind late in the game, and Notre Dame does not have that.
15 for Greer, Seabrooks with 14, Holmes has 10, and Jarrett Lockhart has 15. Good balance for Pittsburgh today.
Absolutely good balance, and the teams that win the most are the ones that are the most balanced. Syracuse, of course, the epitome of balance.
Just 1 out of 2. Murphy pulls down the rebound. 9-point lead for the Panthers of Pittsburgh, trying to win for just the second time in conference play. Their only victory so far was here against Villanova. That 3 is good. Dillon hits a 3 and asks for a timeout. Jimmy Dillon has 5. The Panther lead is 6 with 1:51 to go.
Still a lot of time right here for Notre Dame. They've got to do hurry-up offense and try to double on defense.
And today's Big East game from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh is being brought to you by Buick. Isn't it time for a real car? By Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Beck's, a beer apart. By National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go. By 7-Up. Make 7-Up yours. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Panthers with a 6-point lead. They have the ball. Each team now has 2 timeouts remaining. And the possession arrow still favors Pittsburgh.
And the question, of course, for Notre Dame is can they trap, can they increase their pressure to try to get some turnovers? Pitt able to handle the basketball adroitly. And here we go. They want to run the clock as much as possible and isolate Greer at the end. Brandon Knight might be able to take Dillon off the dribble.
Bumps into him, so he reverses. Murphy jumps out. Here comes the trap. He steps through it. Should be somebody open. Greer in the lane. Puts it up, bending short. Rebound Swanigan. Panthers got a good look.
They did. Nice execution right there, but Notre Dame has to be happy. No points. And here they come. Shoot it.
Inglesby for 3. Comes up short. Rebound Holmes. He's got Seabrooks ahead of the play, and he'll back away.
It's wise not to make that pass right there. Seabrooks running full court. That might have been a turnover. The clock is your ally when you're ahead.
Heading for the final minute, Lockhart steps through the double team. The Irish scrambling. Here's Knight down the lane. Gives it up to Greer. Reverse slam. Pittsburgh by 8. The Irish are in trouble on the road.
The right play by the right guy, Ricardo Greer.
Inglesby for 3. Good. Timeout.
Greer and Murphy tied up on the floor. Okay, got it.
Greer and Murphy both flat on the court as that timeout was called. 43 seconds to play. It's a 5-point lead for Pittsburgh. There's been no place for the faint of heart inside today.
Not at all. Look at this reverse dunk. Greer, the physical player, and at the other end, he and Murphy get tangled up. This would be a tremendous victory if Pittsburgh can hold on. They are up 5 right now. The Irish have to come and foul immediately if they can't get a steal. The clock is their enemy. And of course, Ben Hallen talking to his team about ball handling and poise.
The Panthers have used only 7 players this afternoon. The Irish have gone 9 deep. Well, all of the Notre Dame players have scored, and so have all 7 of the Panther players.
On the inbounds play, you want to inbound the ball to your best free throw shooter. As we can see the free throw situation right there. Pitt only 7 for 13, not very good. Notre Dame very good, 10 for 14. On this inbounds play, you can expect the Irish to foul immediately.
Each team with 8 team fouls, so there's one more 1-and-1 opportunity before the double bonus. Knight, Murphy reaches in for his 4th foul.
And they got the right guy. Brandon Knight, only 54%. And of course, you know, you always say that you'd like to have your best guy handle the ball at the end, but it's not always possible. And it's also not always possible to foul the right guy. In this case, the Irish were fortunate and did.
Owens was on the court briefly. Sky Owens, who's had all kinds of physical problems, so he is the 10th Notre Dame player to appear in this game this afternoon. Owens played a lot of minutes last year. Knight misses the front end of the 1-1.
He's only 54%. Calculated gamble. They got to hurry.
Swanigan. Dillon's long three is good, and Notre Dame gets another timeout. Jimmy Dillon from no man's land makes it a 2-point ball game.
Holy cow! Jimmy Dillon not noted for his three-point shooting. Troy Murphy laying on the ground, not able to get it. They give it right back to Dillon. He is wide open, but he is almost out of bounds. He and Hemsley sharing deep threes. Hemsley made one like that against Rutgers yesterday, and the Irish are in it.
The Irish, though, are out of timeouts. Speaking of shots from right in front of the coach that won games, you remember one right here in this building, don't you, when you were with Rutgers?
Yes, sirree. Damon Santiago hit one right in front of our bench and won the game right here. Rutgers against Pittsburgh a couple of centuries ago.
And it wasn't that long ago, my friend. It was a terrific game, though. This is a good one. The Panthers are up by 2. The Irish are out of timeouts.
The Irish must foul to stop the clock. They cannot let it run. They want to foul Brandon Knight if they can.
Panthers almost turn it over. They get it to Lockhart.
79%.
And Inglesby, I think, is going to pick up the foul.
You don't have a choice right there. You've got to foul.
Nope, it's great.
You can't let the clock run when you're in that situation. Graves and Inglesby going after him. And Lockhart is 79% shooter from the free throw line, 76%, excuse me, from the free throw line. This is clutch.
He has made both of his free throws this afternoon. The Panther bench, what little there is of it, briefly on their feet.
If he makes both, it's a 2-possession game. Kelly Taylor and Zavatkis, defensive experts on the bench right now. They need shooters in the game.
Zavatkis is fouled out. Lockhart with 16 points. Remember, he had 20 against the Irish earlier this year. Owens leaves as Murphy comes back on.
Zavatkis is fouled out. Lockhart makes his, and now it's a 3-point game.
And of course, they've been going offense-defense with Owens coming in to play defense. They don't want Murphy to pick up his 5th foul. Lockhart hit them both. It is a 2-possession game. 4-point Pittsburgh lead.
Look for Graves, look for Murphy. Murphy to pop.
He does. It's a 3. It's bending off. Rebound by Seabrooks.
Wow. Excellent rebound by Seabrooks. He was above the rim.
He was not going to let anybody take that basketball away from him.
They are on their feet, and Seabrooks is off of his feet on this play. Look at how high he goes for this rebound. My goodness, and he's fouled immediately, which is what the Irish must do.
Pittsburgh takes a timeout. The Panthers with 10 seconds to go, and some of the folks in the field house are beginning to celebrate what would be a huge win for Pittsburgh. I talked about the fact that of their first 8 games in the conference, 7 of them have been against the top 6 teams in the league.
And that is unfortunate scheduling for them. As we know, not everybody plays the same in the Big East. You play different teams twice, and you may play against the top teams two times rather than 1 time. But this will be a tremendous victory. They have played well in their last game against Miami. At Miami, they only lost by 4. So even though their record is not great, Pittsburgh making progress. And that man sweating it out. He's going to be happy after this. 10 seconds left. Seabrooks, a 4-point lead. Pitt just has to not foul.
Great second half for the Panthers. They have outscored the Irish 43-31. So a reversal of fortune for Notre Dame, who put that 20-point second half on West Virginia last Wednesday night.
Absolutely. Now they have evened the score with Notre Dame. They've played twice this season. And of course, Pittsburgh zoned mostly when they were at Notre Dame. Tonight, mostly man-to-man as he banks one in.
16 for Seabrooks, and these teams will continue to play twice a year when they are in the same division of the Big East Conference. Dillon for 3. Out of bounds, touched last by Inglesby, and the Panthers are going to get the victory this afternoon. 2 seconds to go. They are on their feet in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Well, that's what it's like in the Big East when you're on the road.
Well, absolutely, and Pittsburgh, no give up in them. And of course, a great victory for Ben Howland. Matt Doherty a little disappointed. They were hoping to move up in the standings. Pittsburgh goes to 2-6, and the Irish to 5-4 in league play.
The Pittsburgh Panthers have surprised the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Pittsburgh just its second conference win of the season. Tremendous second half three-point shooting led by Ricardo Greer and Jarrett Lockhart. Holmes also in double figures along with Seabrooks. For the Irish, it was Graves with a dozen, didn't score in the second half. Murphy finishes with 20 this afternoon. Those were the two keys for the Fighting Irish. For Bob Wenzel, I'm John Sanders. The final again this afternoon. Pittsburgh over Notre Dame 72-66. So long from Pittsburgh.